Okay, Sunday, I say Chris Jarden, who's helped Libby organise this to a degree, contacted us to try and pull together some old Annan boys. And when I say old, they are old. I say a little bit different from the back onside team, where we've got boys that haven't kicked the ball for a good few years, so it'll be a bit of a test. But it's a good reason to get a good squad of the old boys back together, try and kick a ball and get a few beers for a good cause as well. There was a good few volunteers, and I say you're talking boys mid-40s. We've got, all being well, Davy Irons who's 60, so it's going to be a bit of a challenge for some of us. So I think it'll be rolling subs for sure as we work through the 90 minutes.
In these types of games, it normally starts off maybe 5-10 minutes, and it's nice and easy, and you're just kind of seeing what's happening, and then all of a sudden something will happen. It'll probably be a tackle for somebody, but you know, it'll all be in good fun. But I'm sure that, you know, as always happens with footballers, there'll be competitiveness there, and I'm sure both teams, although it's for charity and stuff like that, it's all about, you know, supporting it and enjoying it. But we'll still be wanting to win, without a doubt.
Well, I'm waiting an operation in my knee, otherwise I would have been playing, hopefully. But I'm waiting an operation, so I'm the assistant manager of the back onside team. There's a few players. I think the back onside team's got Davy Nichols, assistant manager at Peterhead, Derek Lyo, Neil Alexander in goals, Gary Harkins. So there's a lot of decent players there.
Livy just asked us if I wanted to play, and I said, of course. So obviously we'll have the game the day before, so don't know how long I'll play. But I didn't know which team I'd be playing for, but she said she wanted us to play for the back onside team. So happy days, I'll play against. I know the Colin and the Gaffer are playing, so I'll play against them all day, especially Colin.
Back onside have been instrumental in helping us cope with the rigours of these young boys playing football and all the stresses and strains. They relieve a lot of the pressure the boys are under. It's quite surprising how much pressure they are under at times. You know, and some of it's quite subliminal, you know, under the radar, and Libby's great at spotting it, and she's really been proactive with us from day one, and she's been a great help, and she has helped a number of our boys. I think it's fundamental now, but it seems to get to the stage now is that these young kids, and they are, even at 30-year-old, they're still, I would class them as being pretty naive, because they've been in an environment that isn't quite real, and there's a lot of heartache in this. There's a lot of joy as well, but I mean, some of the things when they get to a low is sometimes they can't cope, and you know, and even at the end of playing football, it's a hard time, and we've noticed that, and things have changed considerably in the last 10 years. You know, before it was like a thing, just shrug it off, but you know, you can see now that there is a lot of pressure on the boys, and anything we can get to help them, and Libby and the back onside are a useful conduit for that.
No, it's good. Obviously, Libby's at most games, and she's at training Tuesday, Thursday, so it's good to even just have somebody there. Where maybe if it is just a wee thing that you maybe need to just talk to somebody about, she's there. She talks to most of the boys. She's always there. A text away, a phone call. So it's kind of good to have that. But especially in football, football's up and down. You can 1 minute you're on top of the world, and the next minute you could be dropped. You're not playing, as you said, injuries. So it's kind of, in football it can be kind of quite tough at times, but it's good that there is support out there.
She's here every session. She talks to the lads. If you need anything, any help in any situation, she's there, and she's just that person that you can go and speak to when she's not going to judge. She's not going to like go away and be like, oh, this person's blah blah blah. She's just there to help, and which is obviously nowadays, to find someone to talk to that you can trust is sometimes the hard part, but Libby's a diamond in that way.
So I joined Annan about 2 seasons ago. I didn't actually know that much about back onside. For me, even just speaking to Libby, I've suffered 3 injuries for a while. Just some of the chats we have just between us, it's actually been really helpful, and then my awareness of the charity grew. I think it's amazing, pretty much. It's the first club that I've seen anything like that associated, and like I said, I think it's amazing. Like, all the players here really sort of understand it and appreciate it, and the gaffer as well. So it's been great.
Libby came and got involved as there was a player that was obviously suffering from a bit of mental health concerns, and a relationship sort of born out of that, which has been fantastic. Because I think in modern football, it's always a taboo subject for people to talk about, and it's actually been beneficial that once one player's talked to her, it's actually had a knock-on effect, and more players have felt that they could talk to her about any concerns they were having. So it's been a really positive impact on the players, and it's been a good relationship that we've built up.
Yeah, obviously she came in, and it was after the first year I was here, so she came in, done a chat, and you don't know too much about it just because obviously I've maybe never struggled or out like that myself, so you're not really paying any interest towards the sort of charities that do it, apart from obviously you recognise that they're doing really well and helping a lot of people. But obviously I lost my nana personally, and she got in contact with me, and I've known Libby ever since personally, and she's been a really good friend. She's helped me a lot personally. I know there's other boys that have came out and said she's done the same for them. So it's just made a massive difference to everybody, and the club itself. Everybody knows who can go and speak to Libby. Maybe you can't speak to the boys, sometimes you can't. So having her there to be able to help, or just somebody to rant to or whatever, is really good.
I think the key thing is just making people aware that you can talk to somebody. I think the old adage from football was, don't say anything because you can show weakness. I think nowadays it's more, you can tell somebody you're not all right, and you can get help. So from my point of view, that's great, because if players have issues that they probably wouldn't speak to me about, they'd be afraid of speaking to their manager, or maybe even their coaches. There's somebody else that they can go to and get that off their chest and maybe get some help with it. And many different aspects of mental health also.
There'll not be one of us that's gone through life who have not been impacted through mental health, whether by directly or indirectly. So what she does in terms of support for boys within the game at all levels, I think it's tremendous what she does, tremendous. So it's good to see. I know they've got a good link up with Annan Athletic as well, and long may that continue.